Congress. This keynote speech is delivered by Associate Professor Dr. Kanjana Kochaseni, Executive Director of ASEAN University Network. Her talk is entitled ASEAN Plus 3 Graduate Cooperation, Challenges and Opportunities of Academic Mobility. Dr. Kanjana Kochaseni holds a Bachelor of Science in General Biology from Chulalongkorn University, a Master of Science in Biology, Aquatic Ecosystem and Ecology from Eastern Michigan University, and a PhD in Environmental Economics from the Institute of Ecology and Research Management, University of Edinburgh. Dr. Kochaseni is an expert on freshwater ecology and environmental economics. She has accumulated a significant amount of experience in managing intra-regional and inter-regional collaborations, which have been recognized for contributing to the region's academic and environmental development. She was appointed Executive Director of the ASEAN University Network, or AUN, Secretariat in 2009, leveraging on her experience as Deputy Executive Director of the AUN, as well as co-director of the ASEAN EU University Network Program. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Associate Professor Dr. Kanjana Kochaseni.
Good morning, all the distinguished guests from ASEAN Plus 3 executive team and the students of the ASEAN Plus 3. This is the great honor for me to be invited as the keynote speech. And then this one will be very important for the sharing of the informations and experiences to all of you. And this first ASEAN Graduate Research Congress 2012 is one of the successful activities that is already endorsed in the Plan of Action on Education of the ASEAN Plus 3. And this is a very honor indeed that Chiang Mai University already be accepted to be the host of the first ASEAN Graduate Research Congress. And personally, I do hope that will not be just one event. I hope that from the Dean Forum that we'll discuss tomorrow, we'll agree to organize this ASEAN Graduate Research Congress to be the regular event, and maybe take turn between ASEAN and Plus 3 countries. And this is going to be very benefit to all the graduate students, as well as the researcher and professor in the ASEAN Plus 3 University. And I do hope that all of you will gain a lot of benefit from this Congress, and hopefully that you will convey this experience when you go back home to your university and share with your junior student. And hopefully that next year or next event, we'll have more participants from ASEAN Plus 3. And for this session, I will deliver the talk on the ASEAN Plus 3 Graduate Cooperation, Challenges, Opportunity for Academic Mobility, on the experience of the AUN. In light of the growing tendency of the regionality in East Asia, the region which encompasses ASEAN region and the Plus 3 countries, including China, Japan, and Republic of Korea, many aspects cooperation and developments are needed to be addressed and prioritized in order to achieve the goal of a strong community. This community may start small but it will eventually grow and incorporate many facets of life, although economic may be seen as high priority in forging tighter cooperation and regional connectivity. One must not forget the importance of laying down concrete foundation of a society through education. Education is about investing in people, and the people can be the most powerful, immeasurable, and versatile resources that a society could possess. Thus, the foundation of the strong community rests upon education. In this connection, to build a strong regional community among other aspects, education cooperation is an indispensable feature. It is vital for higher education institutions to play a more prominent role in developing human and academic capital for the long-lasting impact and sustainable result of development. Equally important, a regional community which incorporates a vast number of peoples from diverse backgrounds and cultures will flourish only through mutual understanding, cultural appreciation, tolerance, and respect. In rendering such conditions, which people can coexist in the diversity, education of utmost important. To venture into the changing nature of contemporary era, where almost every part of the world is interconnected, adaptability is the key. The impact of interconnectivity has been also felt by the world of education. The world where activities include trade, investment, employment, and even politics can all transcend national borders and bringing imposing effects on education sector to act in corresponding to both the urge of change while also embracing all possibility. Examining the phenomena a little closer, people are essentially the element at the center of the cross-border activity. The world sees more multicultural workplace and more frequent international interaction. The fast-growing industrial-based economics and service sector are also indeed of various kinds of workforces, and this constitutes the need for cross-border employment. These are only a few examples of what is happening, of the result of the changes and of the needs for the education sector to step up its role in reinforcing the growing society, hence to take on the matter that are transnational in their nature. International education cooperation must be addressed and vigorously prioritized. In this connection, academic mobility can be seen as the most basic and fundamental key area in preparing a society to embrace the changes and reap benefits the modern world will bring. May I have light? I cannot read. Yes, thank you. Looking from the past to present, a number of cooperation frameworks in relation to education, practically mobility, have been devised and put in place. However, one may not judge the success from merely the number of cooperation frameworks. Desirable outcomes will not be achieved without action and well-planned execution. The actual implementation, regrettably, still falls short of expectation to deliver a more concrete impact, as many proposed cooperation projects are stagnant and fail to materialize. Various obstacles in terms of systematic, regulatory approach, and financial are so ingrained that regional mobility in East Asia are yet to reach full-fledged stage. While some bilateral activity go in a rather successful fashion, multilateral form need for promoting a true regional mobility still lag behind. Thus, it is important to see into the root causes of the difficulty impeding the actual implementation and put the right and effective measures against such obstacles in order to achieve regional mobility in the ASEAN Plus 3 region with positive, beneficial, and long-lasting impacts. In an effort to pursue the aim of establishing effective regional mobility, the ASEAN Plus 3 Head of International Relations Office meeting, or IRO meeting, a forum dedicated to the promotion of regional mobility, established under the recommendation of the ASEAN Plus 3 Higher Education Policy Dialogue in 2009 in Phuket, Thailand, has been held with the ASEAN University Network Secretariat as the key implementing agency. The inaugural meeting of the ASEAN Plus 3 Head of IRO meeting held in University Brunei Darussalam, 31 participants from ASEAN Plus 3 countries participated. The meeting has concluded from the workshop session with striking result in the form of a set of identified challenge areas and the proposed measures against such challenges. This set of challenges and measures are identified and proposed based on existing conditions, cooperation, and opportunity facing the contemporary world of education. As for mentioned, one must understand the causes to find the right method to overcome the challenges. There are 7 areas of challenges identified by the meeting, which can be further elaborated as follows: information, quality, finance, system, competency, attitude, external factors. All of 7 challenges can be obstacles of the academic mobility. From the meeting, which participated by the Vice President of International Relations Office or Director of International Office, as I already mentioned, and all of them work in the workshop and help each other to identify and sharing from the experience. The first obstacle is information that related to the lack of information, such as program information, course information, scholarship information, contact people, and also is a need to have the database. Second obstacle that identifies is the quality. There are no such system that can confirm the program quality and the way how to harmonize and standardize the quality of the program. And the third obstacle is financial factor. No one can refuse this is always the first priority to solve all kind of activity in education. And it's already indicate lack of funding support from both sending and receiving university, weak support from the government, higher living costs in the big city. That is just the example that indicate. The system among the university in the region still struggle with the credit recognition, academic difference of academic calendar, and the administrative procedures that cannot provide a smooth administration and management in the mobility. And another obstacle is the competence. The first or the highlight from the participants indicate the language barrier among the student or even though among the researcher who would like to participate in the exchange program or mobility program. And the availabilities of English courses that student can participate in the student exchange program or academic exchange program. And another obstacle is attitude. This one, all the participants took quite almost 1 hour to discuss only the attitude of the student, attitude of academic staff, attitude of researcher. That everyone agree that our students have the preference goes to Western country or English-speaking country more than participate in the exchange program in the ASEAN country, and have some difficulty to attracting students to less popular location. If it's for Chiang Mai, I agree that everyone would be happy to spend 1 semester at Chiang Mai University, as you see the very beautiful city of Thailand. And unclear benefit, that is one issue, because our students still don't have clear picture why they have to go abroad, especially in the ASEAN region. What they're gonna gain, what is gonna be the benefit during 4 months of exchange program or 1 year of exchange program. Therefore, it needs a lot of effort from the IRO or from the administrative team to promote this kind of better understanding of the benefit of the exchange program. And personal concern, maybe the family. The parents don't want their children to go to Philippines, to Vietnam, to Indonesia, to Laos, that kind of things. If it's go to US, to Australia, to Europe, oh, welcome, and really support, right? So that is about the personal concern from the family perspective. And the last obstacle we identify as an external factor. And we discuss about the visa process and the working permit and also the administrative procedure. From all detail, I will provide to you all. So to begin with, the information is one of the key areas posing problems to promote regional mobility. While there exists a number of information available through various means of communication and media, there is too little attempt to consolidate such information. For instance, a student seeking information on available of scholarship and courses on offer in the field of his or her particular area of interest, the student may be either easily lost in the cluster information or found it dating to find the right place to start searching. The same situation may also happen to an academic staff or researcher who would like to seek information on potential partners for collaborative research projects. This problem is result of the limited access to the information caused by lack of consolidated database or information platform that can provide comprehensive information on mobility programs such as scholarship, exchange programs, grants, and so forth. Poor coordinating with government sector is also another factor impeding the effective distributions of information. In addition, there are too few mechanisms for matching interest or potential partner for research projects. Last but not least, the information made available for public access of mobility programs are in need for effective promotion and mass communication scheme to reach students, researchers, or potential program participants. Thus, it is proposed that ICT should be fully utilized in establishing an integrated information platform, consolidating and constantly update all information related to mobility and collaborative programs. By doing this, there is also a need to develop a database for available courses and modules distributed in English or common working languages. Additionally, the survey for the needs of stakeholders is another component proposed for the potential developments of an information platform in order to maximize the benefit of process of information distribution and effectively communication with the public. The second one is quality. Quality is another issue in implementing mobility. With the lack of standardization or harmonization in the quality of mobility programs, it is expected regional mobility will face tougher chance for eventually materialization. It is relatively evident that quality standards, both in terms of program and institutional levels, are still lacking. Thus, there is urgent need for higher education institutions to cooperate with each other to work on quality issues. Sending and receiving institutions must have an accepted set of quality framework to ensure the standardization and harmonization of the program. Otherwise, there may be further difficulties and complications regarding the credit transfer issue. In case of student mobilities and exchange program, in this regard, it is highly recommended cooperative measure is improving quality should be vigorously addressed. Quality assurance framework such as ASEAN University Network Quality Assurance, or in short, AUNQA, has been recommended to play a key role in the promoting quality recognition and harmonization in the region. Also, collaborative teaching and the exchange of academic staff are also proposed as the measures to enhance teaching quality and to serve as mechanism in the process of sharing best practice in teaching and learning. The third factor is financial factors. The financial factors are one of the immense obstacles in implementing a mobility program. A mobility program inherently needs funding, both for students and researchers, and for running the program itself. Although receiving institutions may be able, to some extent, exempt the tuition fees or laboratory costs, the person participating in the mobility program usually face responsibility to seek funding for living costs. Nevertheless, there are currently still limited scholarships, coupled with weak support from government sector and limited capacity to provide funding from university. The opportunities would not be able to extend to reach a wider society. This problem is certainly difficult to seek viable solution. However, it is not so an impasse. There are in fact available funding sources. Directing efforts to the right place to secure external funding from potential donors or existing funds is the key. In order to attract sponsorship, it is vital to consider establishing a mobility program in correspond to the interests and benefit of the potential donors. Therefore, university-industry partnership would play a key part in this area. It is important to find and match the interests of university and industries to seek support. For instance, sponsorship may be made available by some industry for relevant themes such as environmental tourism or related program may be able to seek support from tourism industry, and it may be possible to receive support from estate or property industry for collaborations. Next measure is the system. System can also pose problems to attain successful mobility. The striking example is the credit recognition. It is important to put in place a recognized system of readable and comparable credit transfer. ASEAN Credit Transfer System, in short ACTS, is the key mechanism to be the key credit transfer system in bridging the regulatory difference and accelerate mobility process in the region. Different academic calendar in different countries is also another obstacle to find a common teaching period that regional mobility can be effectively practiced. Adjusting academic calendar may take different process, and the complication of such process may be vary from country to country, since it would be affect the whole education system of such country. Nevertheless, it is highly recommended that adjustment should be gradually proceeded, or at least the adjustment should be made to international program as the first step before fully implemented to the normal academic calendar. Meanwhile, summer program, short courses, and short visits can be readily implemented to further promote regional mobility and increase cooperation through interaction between institutions of different countries, which would in turn make it possible for the unexplored possibility of exchanges and cooperation region-wide in the future. Next one is competency. Competence is also of concern. The aforementioned factors are those of system and existing conditions, but this factor is concerned about the participating personnel of mobility programs. In this context, the key issue is the language. Language barriers pose limitation to the effective and successful participation of mobility programs. It is vital to emphasize on two aspects of improvement. The first one, it would go to the language capacity of personnel, such as students and academic staff. As English accepted as working language for ASEAN, to some extent, large part society as well, each institute should emphasize on English as the internal working language in an attempt to increase opportunity for cross-border cooperation and exchanges. For another point, courses should also be made available in English to help promote mobility, attracting exchange students, as well as the involvement of foreign personnel in the program. Especially, it is recommended that the unique courses and niche areas of host